Good evening. This is the Kajiado we want. My name is Beatrice. We are going to begin with the word of prayer and then we can continue. Let us bow our heads and pray. Dear our Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the gift of each one of us. We thank you for the good things that you have done for us, for all the things that you have prayed and you have answered us. And even for those that you have not answered, we pray that, Lord, you're going to hear us. As we begin this show, Lord, may you walk with us, give us wisdom, and be with us from beginning to the end. For this we pray, believing and trusting in Jesus' name. Amen. So allow me to introduce Evelyn so that she can have a little bit of a time and tell us something about the CBO. Evelyn, if you can hear me, please take it away.
Okay, good evening,
Good evening,
everyone.
everyone.
My name is
My name is
Evelyn
Evelyn
Masheri,
Masheri,
the
the
organizing
organizing
secretary of the
secretary of the
Kajiado We Want
Kajiado We
Group.
Want Group.
I want to
I want to
welcome each and
welcome each
everyone
and everyone
to
to
today's
today's
session.
session.
Uh,
Uh,
just to
just
do a
to
brief
do a brief
intro
intro
about the
about the
Kajiado We Want.
Kajiado We Want.
The Kajiado
The
We Want
Kajiado We
is a
Want is a
CBO that
CBO that
focuses on
focuses on
community
community
development
development
matters
matters
in the following
the
areas.
following areas.
One,
One,
infrastructure,
infrastructure.
road, street lighting, and drainage. The other sector we work on is water and sanitation. Then we have health and drug abuse. The other one is education and literacy. The fifth one is environment, waste management, land use, and climate change. The sixth is trade, industry, and job creation. Seventh is the advocacy for youth, women, and children. And the eighth is security and community policing. Tonight we'll be talking about health, which is number three on our area of focus. Our aim is to achieve development in the above area by creating awareness through covering topical issues tackled by an expert every Wednesday on our social media handles, like what we're doing tonight. Uh, the other thing is the group is not political and does not support any political leader and does not support, the group is not political, neither is it aimed to support anyone political ambition. We work with all leaders, elected and non-elected. The key values required for our CBO members are volunteerism, commitment, integrity, respect for others. Members are drawn from all sub-counties of Kajiado. Please feel free to engage on matters that bring development to our county. Anyone willing to be a member of Kajiado We Want can get in touch with us. So back to the moderator, Betty.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Evelyn. At least we've gotten a bit of the information on how we can engage. So I would like all of us please to subscribe to this channel, the YouTube channel, The Kajiado We Want. You can find us on YouTube, The Kajiado We Want, and all other social media platforms, The Kajiado We Want, Twitter, Facebook, and maybe very soon we'll be on TikTok. So we want you to subscribe and feel free to engage. So on this particular show, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Beatrice Ngunju. I am a customer experience coach. So one of these days we can engage on that one. But for today, my assignment is to introduce our great speaker. So she is a profession uh, in nursing, and she's going to tell us more about cancer. She is a caregiver to cancer patients, a home caregiver for that matter. And without further ado, please welcome our very beautiful lady, Grace Muley. Please, Grace, if you can hear us, unmute yourself and take it away. Grace, can you hear us?
I think she's
I
having
think she's
some.
having some.
She's dropped out
She's
of it.
dropped out
Trying
of
to
it.
get into her.
Okay. So maybe before we wait for Grace to join us, you can tell us, you can write to us down there, tell us where you're joining us from, diaspora, people from the UK. Please like our page, send those comments. We are going to read them. Na hata salamu mnaweza kutuma nyumbani. We are going to receive them and send them where you want to do. So you can also get us your comments on this show. Ask questions about cancer. How do we get cancer? What can we do to prevent? How can we eat properly? Maybe as a measure of to combat this menace that is with us. How do we treat the patients? And the other thing that maybe you can ask is chakula ambacho tunahitaji kula ili tuweze kukaa vizuri as we continue fighting. Are we giving our patients enough support? Are we stigmatizing our patients in the community? Maybe our guest is going to tell us some history about cancer, maybe the treatments, and being a caregiver, maybe the challenges that she's getting. And of course, I'm sure we can be able to recon with her because if we have patients that we are taking care of, how do we go about that? And the other thing is about our hospitals. Maybe are they equipped to help our cancer patients? Do we have such hospitals in Kajiado? So these are some of the information or some of the details that we may get later on this show. Are we going for screening? When are they? And do we know how they are done? Maybe do we have books that we can read about cancer? You may be asking now, if you have a patient at home, how can you get help maybe? So I'm sure our guest tonight is going to tell us more about those home cares and where to get a caregiver and exactly how to take care of that. Please remember to subscribe to our channel. Remember to like. Remember to comment. Remember to share. And let's just interact. Ask questions. And I'm sure by the end of this show, we'll have some information that can help us to actually take care of our society, our community, people around us, our friends, our families. And maybe to just note, our guest is in. Oh, nice. Grace, if you can hear us, please welcome
I can
back
hear
and
you.
take it
I'm
away.
sorry about that.
No problem. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace Njoki Muley. I'm a nurse by profession. I have worked for over 35 years in different hospitals, and I love my job. What I'd like to talk about today is cancer. But before I talk about cancer, let me give you a little bit of info what I do. I do poultry. I keep chickens. I keep pigs. I sell pork. I also do caregiving of patients. That is somebody who is sick at home. I also give advice. And if you have a patient who needs to go to India, I also am able to help you out in the paperwork in getting doctors to give you diagnosis, proper management, and also be able to guide you how to go about not the passport, about the visas and where to stay. Then also I'm able to, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Loud and
Um,
clear.
sorry. Okay. I'm also able to help patients in Kenya. If you're sick and you need guidance about how to go about it, I'm able to do that because I have had three patients in my life, personal experience, and there's a lot of mishaps about our management and about our diagnosis. I will tell you how to go about it and what happens. Then I have started a YouTube channel about facing cancer together. So if you'd like to know more about me, and I have started discussing about how to go about dealing with cancer and how to go about taking care of a patient and how to be able to sort out yourself in case you're stuck. Now, I could start by saying, let's go to the topic of cancer. What is cancer? Cancer are cells that grow uncontrollably in the body and spread all over. So when they spread all over, that is the time they are called malignant. They cause mayhem in the body. And that is when you get sick. There are some that grow, they are called benign. Those ones don't spread all over. But the ones that are malignant spread all over your body, and that is what now causes you to feel sick. So I do not want to go into the details of the diagnosis and the management. What I really want to talk to you about is how to encourage you and to be able to go on from the time you're told a patient has cancer, and also to tell you that cancer is not a death sentence. Now, let me start with my husband. He had been having stomach problems for many years. He was having constipation, alternating with diarrhea. When he has diarrhea, he's given something to stop. When he has constipation, he's given something to loosen the stool. So at one time, the doctor decided he had appendicitis. So he went for an operation and the appendix was removed. The problem still didn't go. So many years later, he's been taking on and off drugs for infection, being told it is typhoid and all what have you. So we were supposed to go for a colonoscopy, and as usual, we Kenyans we are afraid to go up for checkup. He didn't turn up for the checkup, and that's the time I gave him an ultimatum because I had booked it 4 times with him not turning up for the test. And when he finally accepted to go for the test, uh, it is his hand which started paining, and he had been taking painkillers for a long time, and it was not going. So that's when he went to hospital. He was x-rayed, and he found that cancer had spread all over the body. So he had been carrying it for years, and it was quietly eating him away. So when you have a issue that is not being sorted, it keeps coming back. It is good that you go for a proper checkup. Do not take it for granted. If you keep getting medicines, being told it is typhoid, being told whatever diagnosis you're given, and they're not coming up with the proper management, you still get affected with the same thing over and over again. Go to a specialist. Now, I will give you another example today as I am talking to you. My brother-in-law also has cancer of the stomach because he had been having hyperacidity. He'd been taking antacid. He'd been told it's typhoid. He'd been told it's many things. He'd been taking drugs for years until he went for OGD. Last week, a biopsy was taken. I'm sorry to say right now we are dealing with another second stage of cancer. So it is good when you have something that is eating you away and you are taking drugs and you're not recovering and you're not improving. Please seek a specialist. Now, the last example I'd like to give you is my own mother who fell in the bathroom, was put on a plate, and then it didn't hold. So she was told to go for a major operation because she was over 70. She was not willing to go to theater. So she stayed at home. And the day she decided to go to theater, a few days before she lifted up herself and broke her arm. And that is the time we knew there was a problem with her bones. But we had been going for tests and we had been told her bone density is okay. We were told there's nothing wrong with her. And the only thing is the fracture that she had, only to find out that she had something called multiple myeloma. So I have had three patients in my life with cancer because we are not diagnosed properly, early enough, and I'm okay. I lost her also, and by the time we discovered she was already in stage 4. So now I will go back to my husband. When my husband we discovered that his arm was failing, we took a biopsy, and that's also when he discovered he had cancer in stage 4. So I was dealing with my mother and I was dealing with my husband at the same time. Both of them were diagnosed with cancer, one in December, one in November, same year, 2017. So what I did, I took them to India and both were treated. Unfortunately, my mother had progressed too much. She passed on there. But my husband, until today, is alive and we continue with treatment. So, what happens when you're diagnosed with cancer? I have several advice I would tell you. The first thing first, find out which stage you are, where you're affected, and what the management is. Find out what the doctor intends to give you. Find out what is the plan is. If you're not satisfied, if you're not getting good explanation, I who will have the time to explain to you and who time to do a one-on-one with you, because there are many questions that one has and there's the fear that you're going to die. So not everybody dies out of cancer, not everybody not everybody who's diagnosed with cancer dies. The only thing that needs to be understood is that you need to know what you're suffering from, what the management is, and what the plan the doctor has. Now, once you're given the way forward, you follow the instructions that you're given. And if you feel that you're not getting well, go for a second opinion. Now, let's start with my husband. When he was diagnosed with the first cancer, he has had two cancers, the one of the bone and another one in the colon. So when he took his chemotherapy, he recovered from the one that he had in the bone. So we went for another checkup 6 months later, only to see that the cancer had spread to the colon. So we did another chemo, and we did also radio. When he finished the chemo, we did also a radiotherapy. Then, now, right now, we are talking, he's on treatment. He's just taking some tablets and he's doing very well. We keep going for checkups every month. We keep doing blood tests every other month, and we make sure that he takes his drugs and he maintains his diet. So, what I'm trying to say is cancer is not a death sentence. He has survived with it for 4 years. We are talking now, and he's good to go. He works like every other person, and his weight, he never lost weight because we normally, when we hear about chemotherapy, we think of diarrhea, vomiting, losing weight, and all those things. It didn't happen to him. He didn't lose his weight. In fact, he added weight. So, some of the side effects that you're told, there's a way you can manage them with your diet. And the most important thing is your mental status. Because if you accept that you are sick, I look at cancer like diabetes and high blood pressure, because those two diseases, people take drugs for the rest of their lives. So that is the same way I normally encourage my patients to look at cancer in that manner, that you have it for life and you will manage it and you'll keep taking tests every other month. So I kindly request that if you are diagnosed with cancer, or if you're told that you have cancer, follow up with tests and follow up with a correct doctor, a specialist. Now, uh, my life history is a long one, but I'll try and make it short. Uh, my husband, as I told you, he had the bone. He went for chemotherapy, and then we decided to go to India. We went, me, my mother, my sister-in-law. Now, when we were in India, we didn't know that my mother had cancer. So she first had a plate put, and then 1 month later is when they tell us that my mother has cancer. So already we had started the treatment of my husband, And when my mother heard that she had cancer, that is why I'm saying it is very important the way the patient accepts the disease. My mother gave up. I felt she gave up. I felt I felt that she got a shock, and I felt that she also the it had spread so much because we took too much time. So there were three things: it had spread, she also gave up, and also it had the drugs, because of her age, she was over 70, they affected her. So there may, even if we may do our very best, but there are also other factors that when you're given the chemotherapy are to be considered. Okay, my mother passed on in India. As we were left in India and we came home after a month to bury my mother. Now, 3 days later, when my mother died, my father in law, not sick anywhere, died because of shock, because he knew the son was having cancer. So to him, he imagined my son may not come home. So my father in law died. He wasn't sick, but the way he had the news, that is what happened. So that is what happened. My father-in-law passed, I believe, because of shock. So here I am burying my mother, and at the same time, I am burying my father-in-law. So we came home. We buried my mother, then we went to bury my father. When we went to Montezuma, we found the body missing in Montezuma. So we had to go to court and get the follow up, and we found the body, somebody had buried it by mistake. So now already I was sick because of the stress. So we buried my father. I came back. I was admitted in hospital. I was not getting well. Now that is why I'm saying it is good to get a proper diagnosis, a proper specialist, because they told me I had TB, I had a viral infection, I had many things, they bacterial, so they kept giving me antibiotics and I was not getting well. So we decided to go back to India. And when we went back to India, we found the cancer for my husband had now spread to the intestines. And me, here I am, I also have a heart issue, that I was having three of my blood vessels blocked. So we were the only two of us, and we had nobody to take care of us. And then, as we were leaving Kenya, at the airport, somebody stole our money, those guards there. So here we are entering an aeroplane with no money in your pocket. But we had to go to India because we had paid the tickets and we could not turn back. So we arrived in India with no money. Fortunately, our friends, our relatives, Kenyans, my son went to the social media Kenyans, they stood with us and they sent us money with Mshwari, and that is how we got our treatment. So when I went back to India, I went in July. You can imagine it is quite expensive, but I stayed there from July, August, September, October, November, December. All those months I was in India. And I never lacked for food, I never lacked for treatment, I never lacked for anything that I needed. It was taken care of. And I came back home in December 22nd to my son's graduation, who I did not have money to pay. He was at the university the last year. His final exams, I did not have money to pay for it, yet the university paid. They stood by him and they paid for the exams and they paid for everything, because for 1 year I was in India, because I went in a December, I came back in a December, I was unable to pay anything. Now, what I would like to tell you and what my encouragement is, when I came back from India, I came back with drugs worth for 6 months. I didn't have the money. So Kenyans paid for me, my friends paid for me, and everything was taken care of. What I am saying, when you have a patient with cancer, I know it is very expensive. I know it is very draining emotionally. financially, but God will provide. And that is what I have learned. And you take one day at a time. And I know with faith and also with prayers and with friends, you will find friends you do not expect. You will find friends from all over the world. Because when I was in India, I found somebody from Russia, another one from Nigeria. They were taking care of us because at that time when we were sick, we were both admitted in ICU. When they operated, because I had a heart operation, I was put two stents. Yet in Kenya, they did not find that I had a problem in my heart. They kept telling me I have infection, viral infection. So God sent me two angels, one from Nigeria, one from Russia. They took care of me. They fed me. They washed for me, and they made sure I was okay before I came back to Kenya. So when you have somebody and you step out, I know it drains you financially, it drains you emotionally, but I want to encourage anybody who is out there, just know that God provides and it will happen. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Grace, that was awesome. My goodness. You're such an encouragement to so many. You have such a big heart. Thank you so much for really taking care of your family, your relatives, whereas you also needed the strength to actually move on and be able to take care of them. So we really thank God that He gave you the strength to move through all that. And people, please do not forget to subscribe. You can only get these kind of stories on this Kajiado, the Kajiado We Want, our YouTube page, and all social pages. Please subscribe and get this kind of information. So our take home today is cancer is not a death sentence. Number one, allow me to recap just a few. Acceptance, that is what I got from Grace, that once you're diagnosed, please accept that this is the situation, so that now you can be able to move on. Get a specialist so that you know what kind of a cancer are you treating and what kind of medication or maybe management that you will need. The other thing that I have gathered there is what is the doctor's plan and how are you going to go through the treatment. And the biggest thing of all is God first. Even as we struggle to help, to work, or to actually seek for medication, God first. I like what Grace has said. Take one day at a time. And with God, everything is possible. Take one day at a time. The biggest challenge, I think, is the support that we give to the patient and even the support we need as the ones who are taking care. For example, in Grace's instance, she needed support to actually support the others. So as a community, we need to come together, support each other, so that when Grace is suffering with his family, we also come in. And thanks to the people who really come through for others, and we need to have such a big heart. Let us connect. Let us keep these conversations coming, and maybe we can get one question for you, Grace, before we let you go, if you don't mind. Maybe you can tell us how did you manage? I mean, where did you get the inspiration to do all those things? Because somebody would look at it and think, this is just too much for one person. How did you manage? What was keeping you going? Every day when you have a patient, you have those phone calls to take care of, you need to source for money. I mean, how did you juggle between all those things? You're traveling to India, you have children left behind. How was that journey and how did you manage?
What I would
What
like
I
to
would like to
say is that I learned the most important thing. Hello, can you hear me?
Sure, sure. Continue, Grace.
Okay. What I learned as I want to repeat, is you take one day at a time. And I realized that when I worried about the future, I got stressed because I did not know what tomorrow was carrying. So I learned to deal with today only. So if the doctor tells me we do this, I do that. If I'm told you do this, I stopped worrying about tomorrow. And also another thing, I would like to thank my relatives, my brothers, my sisters, my friends. I have a network of people who kept checking on me. My workmates, especially one person I'd like to thank is Jane Karani. I would also like to thank my church, Nairobi Chapel Ongatarongai. I'd also like to thank in India. You can imagine there were even people from church. They would come, they would pray for you. They would visit you at home if you did not go for service. They would come in hospital if you're admitted. Like now, when I lost my mother in India, we even had a wake. They even came to mourn with us. So God sends you people to be with you, so you are never alone. And then another thing, that there was a network wherever we were staying in a flat. So you find yourself, you're not staying in a hotel alone. You'd stay about 3 or 4 people, and all of them have brought patients. So you'd find yourself supporting each other. You'd find yourself discussing about the diseases, and it really helped me. But most importantly is that God above all, that I would pray, and we would take one day at a time. So that is how I managed, because I
because
realized
I
it's not
realized it's not
easy.
easy. Wow, thank you so much. So, Grace, if you don't mind, allow me to take another question about our Kajiado. Do we have screening facilities? Are we able, for example, to have a time like we say we have screening? Are we having maybe those facilities, the health facilities, to actually take care of our cancer patients as maybe around our community?
What I
What
know,
I know,
it's supposed to be a cancer month countrywide. So most facilities offer screening. Some of them are free, and some you pay half a price. So like we're in August, October next month, they should be. It's a cancer month. They normally do screening, and that is where that one is to take advantage of it. And most hospitals do have screening, even our government
even our
hospitals.
government hospitals.
But what is
But what is
challenging is
challenging is
what
what
is
is
diagnosed.
diagnosed.
So my problem is, because even with my patient when he was sick, he kept being given antacid, typhoid, what have you. So our problem is really not about the screening. Our problem is a proper diagnosis. So where I am at, if you feel you have a recurrent issue, seek a specialist, and that specialist will guide you, because that is where we start from. Our facilities do have the screening. It's like CT scan. In Rongai, Kajiado, there's no CT scan, but in Nairobi there is. So, but there are other tests that they can do, like pap smear for the ladies, ultrasound. There are other tests that can be done, but the major machines we may not. I think Sinai has. Sinai has a CT scan. Yes, it does have a CT scan. We are able to screen our patients. The only issue is our diagnosis. So if you have a recurrent issue, seek a specialist. And I would
And I would
also
also
like to
like to
add
add that
that
uh,
I am
I am
fully, I can advise, I can visit home if you have a patient. I do give dress, I can dress a patient if you have wound. I do give, sometimes some patients are discharged on drugs, IV drugs. I do home visits, I give IV drugs. And if you feel that there's a problem that you are unable to sort out, you can reach out to me. I will advise accordingly, and I will help where I can. I am free for that. I'm available because I have seen how people are mismanaged. So I reach out. My number is 0722 368 775. You can reach out for me. I will help where I can.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm sure maybe we'll be able to get your number. Our team maybe are going to post the number, if you don't mind, in the major group, the Kajiado We Want, so that should we have maybe a request or somebody who needs this further assistance, they can reach out to you. Um, Maybe one more thing about diet, and maybe do you have recommendation for a cancer patient on what they can feed on? Maybe you can take us through the diet. Thank you.
Okay. What I have seen with most cancer patients, they have nausea and vomiting because of the drug, and they have loss of appetite. They lose weight. So what mostly to avoid fatty foods that are fried, try and do a lot of boiling, and also no spices because they also trigger the vomiting, and avoid carbohydrates. They really are not good. So it is good to take a high protein diet. Actually, what we concentrated on was oats. Oats are very good for the stomach, and you're able to get full. Then also we avoid taking a lot of wheat because of digestion. Then also fruits and vegetables are good, and especially fresh fruits. Avoid taking canned foods, juices, things that have a lot of acid because of the acidity. Uh, you can see me? Hello?
We can hear you. Please continue.
Okay, because of the hyperacidity, and then also we avoid taking a lot of foods that have that have slept. We prefer patients to take fresh food that is cooked daily, food from the fridge, food from the supermarket, food from a hotel. We avoid that because the immunity is already low. And when they take that, it triggers diarrhea and infection. So they need to take fresh cooked food. And also, they need to take food that is balanced, but mostly avoid carbohydrates and wheat.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. Grace, maybe in your own words, and first of all, thank you so much for such a wonderful presentation. But in your own words, maybe you can paint for us a picture of that journey as maybe you have given us, and what would you'd like people to know, or what else maybe you think that we have not touched on and you'd like us to know about it? Maybe in 1 minute you can give us just a recap of what you'd want us to know or what you'd want our community to know.
Okay.
Okay.
What
What
what I'd like
what are
the community to know, and what I'd like everybody to know is that when you have a cancer patient, it's not about money. It's not about how much you can give that person. What I realized is just a phone call is enough to check on the person. How are you doing? And not unajua hii historia woye unasikia nini sijui, sympathy. You make the person feel more sorry for themselves, and they feel like they're dying the next minute. Engage them in positive talk, engage them in talk that will help them, engage them in something that is you can have a general talk to them normally. Don't talk to them like they are going the next minute into the grave, because they that is what most of us do to when we meet a critically ill patient. Then also engage them in activities. I will give you a basic example. When my husband was sick, we used to get out and go for walks. If he was in pain, I would give him a painkiller, give him 20 minutes, and then get out. if I found a person who was calling him and was not encouraging, was just putting his moods down, making him depressed, I would avoid those phone calls. If I met somebody who was giving me advice that was not helping me, was telling me, oh, my friend died, or the other one suffered from this, are they really helping you? No. They are really discouraging you, and you're thinking you're the next person. So I would avoid such people. And then the most important thing is you plan for tomorrow. You don't plan for like there's no tomorrow, because even when we are living today, we have a future. We plan for a future. So that is one thing we would always talk about when we go home. What will we do? What will we what like, you have a vision. I need to do this. So it would motivate the person. They have something to look forward to. And then there's the environment that you're living in. Keep yourself busy. You have a routine. Unless you're very sick, you're unable to wake up and do, try and keep your routine as much as possible. I'll tell you for free. I tried, I'm a nurse, but I try as much as possible to keep my hands off to his management, as in he takes himself to hospital, he sees the doctor, he's able to make his appointments. Hii story ya kuescort mgonjwa kila saa kwa appointment ama kwa nini, the first few days you do that, then after that you give them independent, unless now you see they are not doing well. If there are tests to be done, that time you can escort. But if it is just a matter of collecting drugs, of just going for a lab test, you don't need to escort. Even you mwenyewe ukikuwa na nini na typhoid ama nini, si unaenda tu kwa lab and you have the blood test done. Nobody escorts you. You go alone. So treat it like a normal disease. Don't treat it like you're dying tomorrow. So basically, when he has the routine tests, me, I don't take him, because even when he was doing the routine test, he was going alone. So treat it as normal as possible. If you're in pain, I give you a painkiller, because even as in a normal day, you do wake up with a headache and you take a painkiller. Yes, just take your painkiller, continue with life. But don't live, even you take normal life, you take activities, you go to work, you don't let people know that you're sick. Even when you're going for your appointments, you just say, I've gone to visit. Don't tell the whole world that you're going to hospital. So you keep your life as normal as possible. And that is what I encourage. Even functions. Anaenda, he drives, he does his own things. So try and treat your patient as normal as possible. Let them live a normal life. Let them know that it is not a death sentence. Me, that is what I live with. I can now, we are how many, 4 years down the line, and good to do. So I encourage everybody. It's not a dance. It is the way mentally you will take it. It is the way you will treat your patient. And by the way, there are support groups. Also, you can reach out to me. I can guide you, or you can Google. There's one called Faraja. They do support you. And they also go every week. They have workshops. I have joined it. It helps me. So when I feel down or I need some questions to ask, because we don't have all the answers, so there are support groups all over. You can Google Faraja. It is very good, and they support people with cancer.
Wow, thank you so much, Grace. That was quite informative, and getting it from the hands-on person. Umekuwa on the ground. This is what you have been doing for years. I think we have gotten it the right way, and the way we should. So take home today that cancer is not a death sentence. We need to treat it as a normal disease, kama homa. I like the way Grace is telling us. Si unaendeanga dawa zako. Kama ni homa unaenda unachukua whatever you have to take alone. So let us encourage our patients, tuwapatie nafasi, we communicate to them vizuri, usiwaonyeshe ni kama kuna shida, like life inaisha kesho. So na hizo oye tuache. Otherwise, I really want to thank you so much, Grace. You have been so candid with this discussion. Asante sana. I'm sure our teams Somebody wants your number again, Grace, if you don't mind. You could.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
My
My
is zero
is zero
seven
seven
two
two
two two.
two two.
Hello, can I repeat again?
Yes, please go ahead.
0722 368 775.
Okay. 0722 That's right.
0722
0722
368 775.
Okay. I think that's fair enough. If we need to maybe put it on the page, we could still engage and let our people get through. Otherwise, allow me to really thank our team. Thank you so much. I can see the number is there. So anyone who wants to get it can actually go through the chat and we'll find the number there for Grace. Thank you so, so much. You have been very resourceful and instrumental. We cannot thank you enough. Please allow me to very first thank our coordinator, Madam Evelyn. Allow me to thank our IT, Benjamin. Umefanya kazi smart sana. Shukran sana, we were able to actually go live. Our people from diaspora, asanteni sana. I'm sure you're going to be looking at this show later on. And please remember to subscribe, share, comment, likes, and let us continue helping our people. So this has been the Kajiado We Want live show from YouTube. And my name is Beatrice Ngunju. Kwaherini, have a blessed night. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.